then.
Oh, you ready? You're still talking. Are you ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Ready to go.
Go on then.
Welcome back to the third episode on the Camaro. I am back from doing the other stuff that I said I was doing in the last video, and I can now tell you it was filming a new show called Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge for a very small network called NBC in America, and it was pretty mega, and I met some awesome people and built some amazing cars, and it's all going to be on NBC. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
If you're in America.
If you're in America, it's on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Don't know if I mentioned that. But back to what we're doing here, the Camaro. Obviously last time you saw it, it just got back from the powder coating, so that's where it is. But we have now, today, just been DAing and cleaning back the outer body. Don't know if you see that. Taking all the overspray from the powder coat off. So that is now ready. I'm going to give it one last acid, and then I'm going to get it in the booth and get some epoxy primer on this. And where the dash was a bit stinky before, we sanded that back, give it a little skim, shaped it up so the window will sit nice on there. And that is where we are at the moment. We're obviously behind schedule, so we're all going to try and crack on and push on with it as fast as possible, because I don't know if I mentioned, I was away filming for NBC, Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. Also streamed on Peacock. Did I mention that?
After America's Got Talent.
After America's Got Talent. It's going to be really good. It's out on May 30th, but this video will probably be after that. So you'll have to go back, watch it on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, I don't know. Anyway, that's where we are. We're all up to date. We've all had a good time, and we're going to crack on with the Camaro. Thank you. Yes, that is the Camaro now prepped and masked up. It's in the booth. So I'm going to put 2 coats of epoxy primer just on this bare metal area, the roof and the rear quarters, the rear panel and the dash. And then it will be ready to come back out the booth, and we'll start prepping up the front end and the carbon doors, boot lid and all of that, so we can actually start blocking down and getting this nice and straight and ready for some paint. Alright, that is the Camaro now epoxy primed, so I'm going to demask it and I'm going to get it outside and get some sun on it to cure this off before we prep it up, ready for some filler. So I started DAing off the front end of the Camaro. As you can see, I've come down this wing and across the front. But this super old stinky paint, let me get an old disc here, an old disc. You can see it just clogs the discs up. It all balls up. It's like rubbery when you do it. Such old, horrible, horrible paint. So what I've just started doing now is going over the whole thing with some paint thinners and some Scotch-Brite and just get the paint off, and then I'll final finish this with the DA to get that back. Seems to be the quickest way to do it, because we were just getting through loads and loads of DA discs. So I'll thinners around the front and down this side, and obviously got the bonnet to do as well. It's quite a large panel, but yeah, we'll get that, soak it all in with some thinners and wipe all of that paint off. It soaks it up a little bit, but it gets there in the end. It's faster than using the DA and using 100 million DA discs. As you can see, just wipe it over like that, and it gets us back to this orange gel coat. So yeah, that is today's job. Not the funnest job in the world, but it's one that we need to do before we start the proper paint prep and actually getting this straight and looking nice. So I'm going to crack on and update you when I've done a little bit more. I've thinned off all of that wing, and I've just taken this front panel off here, unbolted it, and I've just found out something quite interesting which I didn't know before. Most of the pictures I have of the bracketeer, it's all obviously sprayed in this horrible paint, the whole front end, the fiberglass front end, so I was never really sure how the stripes came down through the doors here, and went into the front wing and round the front panel. But as I've just been thinning off this, I can obviously start to see the old blue, and as I've got over to this side, it actually has the different colour stripes that go along the front there, but they also come around and follow this shape and flick up, which is where they'll then join into the front wing. So I'd never actually knew that that's how they finished on the front, so I'm pretty happy that we've found this out. So I can now, I've got some pictures of this, obviously this video, and I'm gonna replicate this design when we remask the car to bring those lines around and then up and swoosh around the doors like they do here, swoosh around and then up to the back edge, up to this back edge of the wing. So that is pretty cool and something that I didn't know about. So I'm just gonna finish off this front panel and then I'm gonna get the bonnet out of the container and do that. And I think that's pretty much it. I'll then get the doors and the boot lid in so I can prep them as well, but they aren't covered in all this horrible paint. They are, the boot's fiberglass and the doors are obviously raw carbon, so we just need to prep those up. Okay, update on the bracketeer Camaro. As you can see behind me, it's now all repaneled. We've DA'd or keyed up all that epoxy primer and the boot lid. The doors, the carbon doors we put on, and you can see we've masked out this center area of the door to try and protect the carbon, because we're gonna do something a bit funky with the lettering when we put that back on at a later stage. So we're just protecting the carbon so we don't get any filler or primer or DA marks or sanding marks over that. The front end is all now stripped back. All that turquoise old paint is off and cleaned, and I've repaired some. There was a split down here and some other little bits we've done. And as you can see as well, the bonnet has now been completely stripped back, and I've also done all the filling, all the leveling up work on that, and we've got quite a nice, especially for fiberglass, old fiberglass at that, fit on there as well. So I'll end up skimming all the wings as well, but I've done the bonnet off of the car. So the job I'm going to do today is just key those doors up and then start filling all down the sides and getting all of these panels to line up how I want them to. I know it's a race car, but we do own a body and paint shop, so it's got to be nice. So that's what we're going to do. There's also a bit I need to do around here. So when I fitted the whole front end, I didn't like the arch gap between the wheel, or also how high it was off of the floor. So what I ended up doing was dropping the whole front end like so. Like if the front end's on, I dropped the front. So it was an inch lower at the front, but that obviously meant I had to address the back. The scuttle all moved forward with the front end. You can see where I've actually extended the scuttle panel back to the bulkhead, the dash, and you can see how much it is here on the wing. So I'm actually gonna have to take the front end off in fiberglass and extend the wings back to match here. Just to give it that bit more aggressive look at the front, but then that leads to another issue which we'll address. So this body line here that runs through looks fine when you're close, but if you stand far back from the car, this line obviously drops down like this. So we'll end up addressing that body line whilst we go through the filler stages and bring it up so it looks straight again. But that's a real subtle touch that we've done just to give it that more aggressive look when it's finished. And hopefully we'll get it in some polyester relatively soon. That's the plan anyway. It's all leveled up quite nice. I spent a while when I first got the panels to try and get them to fit as good as we could. Obviously that's a carbon panel there, so that's quite a nice fit. So it's only going to be a little skim between just to level them up. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm actually excited to get some filler on this and see how well it sharpens up. And yeah, I'll keep you all posted. Thanks for watching. Hey, yes, we are really pushing on with the Camaro build now in the filler stages. As you can see, I've gone all down one side here and straighten that up, and you can start to see the top line here on the shoulder starting to sharpen up and look good. And then we've gone down through the sill there, leveled it up to the door, flattened the bottom of the door through, getting those panel gaps how we want them there, and into the front wing, again following that line from the back all the way down through the door, through the front wing there. We shaped all of that up, so I'm just about to start going up and down the other side, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to turn it round because I've got on quite well on this side. As you can see here, I have fitted the window trim along the bottom, and you can see what I was saying about before, where we need to extend those wings. I've already done the scuttle panel before, but I need to extend those front wings so they go back a little bit further and sit underneath that, where I dropped the front end slightly to get a nicer wheel gap. Oh yeah, cut myself, not very nice. Fitting these window trims in the back, super razor sharp things, I slipped them. Anyway, put the back window in, window trims in, because they're all made in Taiwan and everything now. They didn't really fit that great, so I've just put them in so I can get a nice level between them all the way around the car, and just make it a bit nicer. I know it's a race car and it probably doesn't matter, but I just wanted to get a nice from the body into the trims, everything to flow, because that's what we do, isn't it? I just want everything to be nice. I want it to look nice whilst we're here, you know? When we get to the racetrack, people go, oh, that looks nice, or they won't even notice, but I'll know, and I want it to all look good. There'll be some things wrong with it, and I'll show you them at the end when we finish. So yeah, that's where we are. Filler work, lots of blocking down, blocking. So I'm going to do these few last little bits around here, extend the front wings because I want to sharpen this line, this body line here that comes in the door. I want to sharpen that up where it goes into the front wing here. So obviously I need that done before I can do that. Shape all that in, then I'm going to spin the car around and do exactly the same as what I've done here, down the other side, and then we should hopefully be ready for some polyester then, which is a huge stage of the paint prep because everything starts flattening down quicker and we should really start picking up the pace then. So I'm buzzing, I'm excited to get this filler work done and move on. So I will next update you when I'm going down the other side and see if there's anything else I find which I don't like. Yeah. So that is in line with the lock. So what we have here, as you can see from this photo, the racketeer. So on this side, I'm going to put, these are some blanks we've had made. I think I've talked about it. So they're just big blanks of the sign writing because I want the carbon to be the black, the letter, and show it through. So I'm going to put these on now, so when we do all our priming and everything, it won't cover the carbon, because we want to keep that for the looks, like the aesthetics. But I'm going to put the racketeer on this side, and just to keep part of the history of the car, I'm going to put the bracketeer on the other side, because depending on what generation you are is how you remember it. I always remember it as a bracketeer, some people remember it as a racketeer, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stick these on there. I'm just going to eye them up. Can you eye them up? You eye them up, mate?
The old eye chronometer, yeah.
The chronometer?
Ionometer.
Well, that's got to be, it's quite high. It's higher than I thought it would be. So that's in line with the
lot, yeah.
thing. Where's the bar? Quite tricky, actually.
Looks, yeah, looks
Right, it's right. Yeah.
looks right to this way and to the top of the door. Oh yeah.
What does it look like about there, alright?
The same but further away.
Further away?
No,
At least
nice.
with here we'll get the colours to go right into it. That'll look cool. The stripes. Those. They come just under the door handle here. So they'll come. Oh yeah, they'll come right through that R and back. Yeah, that'll look cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Come have a look then.
Huh?
Come have a look then.
Yeah, man. It's really cool, isn't it? Alright, yes, finally, which it feels like an incredibly long time because we've been blocking down all the filler work on the Camaro basically in the evenings. It's in the booth and it's masked up, and Adi, myself and Stan have gone round and finished all the edges, any little bits of stopper and anything we wanted to do, and we've got it all crammed in the booth. It's going to be a tight squeeze, and we are going to send some polyester around it. As you can see here, I've just masked out around where we put those stickers on, just because we don't want to get a hard edge on the edge of the sticker with the polyester. So we've got all of the bits in here. I've stuck a bit of paper on the wall just to stop all the polyester flying over the wall, because I've just cleaned the booth. And I don't really want to send loads of polyester all over that. So that is basically it. I've just mixed up the Max Mayer spray filler. So I'm going to put my suit on, maybe put the GoPro on the wall and start chucking it around. Right, that is, I put 5 coats of the polyester spray filler on the body of the Camaro. So we've got a nice amount to work with and start blocking down. We have a load of like rub throughs or breakthroughs, like say if it breaks through here to the filler, we'll probably end up patch priming a couple extra bits, but hopefully it'll block down and be quite nice. So I'm going to put the GoPro up on the window. I'm going to send some guide coat over the whole thing and then give it a bake. Next week we'll drag it back out and start blocking it all down. Getting rid of some of the production marks which have been left from the 40 grit. You probably see some of them. If I come up here, there's some over on this roof that I saw. There, look. See the production marks in there, so we'll be able to block all of those out and really start to sharpen the whole shell up. I'll put the GoPro on and we shall crack on with it. So that's the guide coat on the Camaro. It's actually come out in not too bad of a colour, like a nice dark grey steel blue. Yeah, next thing is to bake it off, and next week we shall flat down the shuts first and then chuck all the panels back on and start blocking it down and getting these lines looking as they should. All the paper stayed on the wall, which is nice. I just noticed it's just started to come off here, but yeah, that's all right. And that's it. Not really a lot much more to tell you. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments and we'll get back to you. Hopefully it will start picking up the pace soon and we can get this finished and into its first lot of colour, would be good. Okay, update on the Bracketeer 68 Camaro. It's now in the booth and it's ready for its final prime, which Adi and I are about to do. So that will be the NEPA 4-to-1 primer that we're going to put on it. So the shell and all the panels at the moment are in their polyester. They're all blocked down, so we 120'd them and then we went over with some 240. But I did actually re-polyester the rear wings across the boot lid The bonnet and the tops of front wings I also re-polyed, so a little bit sort of this, and I wanted to get this line extra sharp. The doors are masked out as well, so we'll go a bit closer to those stickers this time with the primer, and then before we actually paint them I will end up clear high building those to make sure there's no pinholes on the bits of carbon that we want to keep. As you can see, I've just back masked it just a little bit there, so we don't get that horrible hard edge that we're going to have to try and get rid of. So the bonnet's come up nice now as well with this extra poly, and you can see the lines. She is looking pretty sharp on those lines. So hopefully this will be its last prime. So we're going to go with, I think 4 coats we'll put on. 3 would probably be enough, but I'm going to go for 1 extra just so we can make sure all of those lines are nice and sharp. I have had to stop myself a little bit because it is a race car, so you know it hasn't got to be absolute concourse show finish. But it's always nice to get it, you know, it's nice to be nice, isn't it? It's nice to get it nice. So I'll put the GoPro up on the wall behind me, and we will send some Me Per 4:1 primer on it. So keep watching.